I'm Sophia A Jackson, and I'm the editor and founder of Afridiziak Theatre News. And today I'm joined by
Justina Kehinde, and I'm a director, writer, and actor.
Thank you. So, as usual, we'll start with our quick fire questions. My first one is, what's your favourite theatre space?
Probably the Young Vic.
Okay, and why is that?
I think it's the space where, for various reasons, I got a lot of free tickets to, and so I've seen the most shows there. So I have an affinity there, and I also think it's been one of the theatre spaces that I've seen the most stories that have either centred work within African storytelling, Afro-Caribbean, or African American. So it's looked at that kind of stories that centre Black lives the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a happy place for you.
Yeah, but I want to explore more theatre spaces, certainly.
Yeah. What's your proudest career moment to date?
My proudest career moment to date is probably the first show I ever directed when I was at university, which was Ntozake Shanga's for Coloured Girls. And I think, it was the first time I engaged in theatrical storytelling. I had an amazing company of women that are still good friends of mine today, and it told me that this was a space that I could inhabit.
Yeah, and that was the first time that I worked with you, which was many, many moons ago. So, Till Death Do Us Part has its press night coming up. Who would be your dream guest, dead or alive?
That is a really hard question. Dream guest. I would love, definitely alive, Debbie Tucker Green to see it. I think also, I'd love Katie Mitchell to see it, only because I had a master workshop with her, and the way that she talked about directing really opened my eyes to what that art form could be and should be. So that would be a really interesting person to come. I'm going to start with those two.
That's okay, thank you. And finally, your favourite playwright of all time?
I cannot answer that question.
Okay.
Favorite playwright of all time? I can't say what my favorite playwright of all time is yet. Maybe I haven't come across them yet, but I would say that there are two plays that still have deeply moved me. The first one was Moira Buffini's Welcome to Thebes. It was the first show I ever saw at the National, and it was a post-colonial retelling of Antigone's story, and that has stayed with me forever. And then I would also say Morgan Malcolm Lloyd's Amelia is one of the few shows where I wept at the end when Claire Perkins gave that monologue on anger. And those are two that have inspired me in terms of what playwriting and what theatre, what the stories it can tell.
I will co-sign both because I've seen both and they are both incredible. So excellent choices. Right, let's talk about Till Death Do Us Part, which is currently playing at Theatre 503, of which you are the director. So in your own words, what's Till Death Do Us Part about?
So Till Death Do Us Part is a story that explores the relationship between grief and love, and what it means to lose yourself, to lose and to lose love, and what that looks like.
So it sounds like quite a heavy subject matter. How will you encourage people to come and see it if they're thinking, I just want to be uplifted? Is there joy within the play?
There is a lot of joy, and I think joy is a central part of human life. I think it's a large part of relationship dynamics and family life as well. So there's definitely joy in the play, but I would encourage you to see it because I also think what theatre does is it creates space for us to talk about things that we either are not able to or don't know how to talk about in our real lives. And I think that this play creates space for that and provides an insight into something that many of us would experience in different ways, shapes or forms. We will all experience grief, whether we like it or not. And I think it's really useful in that, in creating space for new conversations.
Thank you. And what attracted you to being part of the play?
So I had the absolute honour and privilege to work with the playwright Sappho Benson Effium on a very short scratch of hers last year that was being produced by Tamasha Theatre Company, and we just clicked. And I think not only because she was writing it, but Sappho's writing is so nuanced. The way that she explores truth and the voice of characters is so captivating. And when I read the script, I fell in love with it with as a piece of literature, and I just said, there is beauty in here, and I would love to be part of bringing that to life on the stage. So yeah, definitely the text itself did it.
Yeah. And tell us about your role as director. What have you brought to the table?
So I suppose as a director, what you want to do is kind of take the text, and it's really helpful if it's already good, and then kind of elevate or innovate on the themes and the ideas that are explored in there in a way that makes it visually entertaining for an audience. So I hope that I've done that, but also it's about bringing together a creative team that can collaborate and bring that vision to life. And so I would say, outside of working with the actors and all the things you do in terms of trying to understand the characters and the roles, probably as a director, what I've brought to the table is finding the creators to collaborate on. And it's interesting talking to Sappho where we are now in previews and saying that the show that we have is not the show that she had in her mind, but she's grateful for it. And that actually, in terms of what we've done with set design, with lighting, with sound, none of these things existed in her mind. And so it's a different play, but it's a really exciting play because of that. And that's a great role you can do as a director, is who you bring alongside to collaborate.
Oh, well done. And finally, why should audiences come and see Till Death Do Us Part?
You should see Till Death Do Us Part because it is timely, because it is funny, because it's truthful. It's really truthful, and because it is a really honest and touching and engaging piece of new writing and new theatre.
Oh, well, we can't ask for more than that, can we? Well, it was really lovely talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing the play hopefully next week. So thank you for your time, and have a really lovely day. Take care.